Alright, everyone. It is finally time. After 100 days of waiting, we can finally read through the lore for Season 15. And I'm not wasting any time. Let's get right into it. I don't know nothing about it. All I know is it's about Seer, and that's pretty much all I know. So, there's 4 chapters. Let's see what it is. See what it's about. As we step up the ship onto Boreas, I tip my hat down to shield myself from the cries of the crowd. Not all are here from fans. Some are from protesters. They are here for me, I know, but fences line our path from the ship to the Syndicate building, keeping them from swarming us. Oh yeah, I hear you, amigos. The Octrain was on fire! Octavio makes a ridiculous spectacle next to me, as usual. Catalyst, the third on our squad, strides ahead of us both. She spoke barely 10 words to me during the match. She blames me for the loss of her home. My mother, always told me an honest discussion can open one's heart. I believe it is true, but despite my best efforts, Catalyst refuses to have a conversation with me. I paused at the thought of my knee and glanced down at my quiet phone. Why do you keep looking at your phone, compadre? You finally getting on stream with the cool kids? He peers over my shoulder, invading my personal space faster than I can comprehend. I shake him off. My mother was supposed to call me. She always calls before and after a match. Why? It's how she shows she cares. Surely your father calls you. No way. His crusty secretary, maybe. It's always for some boring photo op. Something hard hits my hat and half-finished drink splatters against my wrist, sending my phone flying. I avoid a can that nearly hits my shoulder. Another gift from the crowd. I suppose it's better than the rocks the other children used to throw at me as a child. Oh, hey, stop that! Catalyst steps in, shielding me from further assault. One protester pauses, mid-throw. Why are you defending him? He's a sellout. Hurting him doesn't help anyone now, does it? Perhaps she's not as closed off as I had thought. The protester responds by lowering his arm. He settles for a glare at me. I hope you rot. Catalyst heads into the Syndicate building to collect her share of today's winnings, and I follow after her, catching her as the doors close behind us. Thank you. Not many here have done me such a kindness. Don't mistake me for a friend. Nothing's changed. Before you brought the games here, I had life on Cleo, and so did all my friends. You have every reason to be angry. Yes, I understand that. I wanted to apologize for everything. You think it's easy, do you? That you could just apologize for everything and people will forgive you? Please, allow me to explain at least. My intentions were pure, I assure you. Mr. Silva agreed the new stage for the Apex Games would be on Boreas. Whoop. I fight in the games. I know how destructive they can be. I would never have brought them to our broken moon. That was his doing. You want forgiveness? You can't even take responsibility for your own actions. I do not lie. Eduardo Silva... Let's look at what you have done. This was your idea, your campaign, and we all saw you doing everything you could to bring the games here. And that's somehow not your fault? If things had gone as I requested. Things are how they are. You want to know what your campaign actually accomplished? It tore us from our jobs, it destroyed our community, and it forced us back to a place that doesn't allow us to be ourselves. I'm here to fix that, to actually support my community in the aftermath. If you feel that way, why did you help me just now? Because violence won't change anything. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to see some friends. She walks away, and I can only watch her go. Dude, your madre is a weird lady. I love you this, I love you that. What kind of sappy, boring text messages are these? I notice Octane beside me again, and he has retrieved my phone and is snooping through it. I snatch it away from him. It's rude to invade the privacy of others, and she calls to show her love and support. I fail to see how that is weird. Hey, but no calls today, so that means she hates you now? Of course not. This is very unusual. I should go home and make sure everything is well. You sure she doesn't hate you? Welcome to the club, amigo. He shrugs, but comes with me to collect our winnings, and we slip out of the building's back door to avoid the crowds. The streets outside are otherwise well kept and mostly barren. The citizens of Boreas well into their workday to maintain the planet. It is a fine-tuned machine. Despite the empty streets, I find myself turning down the back roads. Old habits, I suppose, born of familiar anxiety. Beside me, Octane twitches restlessly and makes no attempt to restrain his complaints about my pace. Though it is a brisk one, still he follows me all the way to my childhood home. I open the door to an eerie silence. Ne? Nah? I don't think they're here, compadre. He gestures toward the living room and my heart stops at what I see. Broken windows, bricks on the floor, and blood. Ooh, okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Chapter 2. Duardos and Duardon'ts. A sea of glass drowns the floor. An attack. A violation. Mother! Father! There's no response but the wind howling through the wound in my home. The windows have been shattered, bookshelves toppled, photographs disgraced. But no sign of my parents. I search the den and find messages of hate. Weeks worth. Directed at my parents, blaming them for me, for my part in bringing the games here. For my curse. The curse. How long have my parents been suffering? Hey, looks like something went down, amigo. Your detective skills are legendary. Hey, thanks. That one time I found a stash of secrets behind a portrait in Pop's study and... That was sarcasm. Being paired with you, perhaps I am indeed cursed. Observation numero dos. Blood. Around the window frames, yes. This is blood from breaking in, not from combat. Unusual. Father built ways to protect the family, and few could move with the grace of Mother. If they were attacked, they would have fought. Okay, so no fight. Maybe your folks went on high-stakes vacation. Ugh. Enough. It is your father I must speak to. You think he's taken them? No, when he's going against Pop, he needs you to know he beat you. Trust me. If he took your folks, he'd be bragging. Your father has twisted every deal and gone back on every word he has spoken to me. His lies have sparked a fire that burns Boreas and Cleo. He may not have taken my parents, but he is responsible for their suffering. Eduardo Silva will find my parents, and will find them unharmed. To the average Outlands denizen, he can be a hard man to get a hold of, but to his son? You want to go mano a mano with Pops? Yeah, I'd watch that. I'll give the old man a call. Well, look at us teaming up, amigo. Once rivals, now forced to work together for a greater, cooler good. Oh, no, please. Obianakti, right again. You must stop immediately. You prefer Octane? That's Seer plus Octane. Where is your father? My parents can wait no longer. His father does answer, and I am surprised that Eduardo sends for us. It's a sinister limousine available only to the Outland's most wealthy and devious of creatures. There was a time Octavio would never bask in his family's influence, yet little by little the boy becomes ensnared by his father. Ensnared. We land in front of a memorial site in Cleo. The Syndicate Corps are packing up drilling equipment. They found whatever they're looking for. Troubling, particularly as the Corps were once a beacon of safety and hope for all the Outlands, and now are little more than Eduardo's personal guard. Okay, this is new. Guess I ought to read those morning brief things his secretary sends me, huh? Your family dysfunction means little to me. I care only for answers. Mr. Realism, so wonderful to see you, my boy. For an old man with a cane, Dorado's movements are profoundly subtle. There are few who can sneak up on me. I would be delighted to answer any questions you might have. No questions, only a demand. Find my parents. Your parents? Of course, my boy. Dorado nods slightly to one of his syndicate core goons, and they move away with purpose. Please, find Mr. Athleticism's parents. We're all terribly worried. Do not pretend to care. One moment, my boy. You must trust me. Trust you? I came to you for help, but receive only harm. The people blame me and take their rage out on my family. Ah. So you come all this way to express a lack of gratitude? Gratitude? You forget, my boy. Boreas and Cleo are symbiotic. Cleo is forgotten, yet with my involvement, it receives media attention and significant resources. Your schemes ignore Boreas' plight. Incorrect. Once Cleo stops deteriorating, Boreas' destructive seismic events will end, both worlds saved. Thanks to our fine work. Aren't you getting exactly what you wanted, Mr. Elotism? Octane leans back casually, enjoying this far too much. Octane, absolutely not. Our deal had the games come to Boreas, not Cleo. Cleo is too fragile. Many will suffer. If some minor discomfort is what it takes to save the moon, that is acceptable. What is it, you say? Encourage others to see the beauty around us, even in destruction. You do not know me as well as you think. I see the heart of all matters, and you? And in you I see nothing. It doesn't take a heart to save a world, Mr. Elotism. It takes will. If a little interview and a few rabble-rousers are enough to rattle you, perhaps what you lack is a backbone. It's not just rabble-rousers. It's a storm, a riot, one that took my family. And so the boy has a spine after all. Wonderful. Ah, and look, right on time. A dark floating limousine descends upon us, idling. It would seem the Syndicate Corps soldier Eduardo earlier sent away has returned to its doors open, and my parents are not inside. Careful, old man. I have no patience for your... Eduardo indicates I get in. I could not trust him less. Beware your tone. You just so happen to be talking to the man who knows exactly where to find your parents. Okay. So we're still looking for the parents. Apparently Silva has something to do with it again. The limousine ride with Dorado was the strangest ride I may ever take. Elegant, decadent, all while I'm at my wit's end. Dorado told me in the car that he had my parents moved to a safe house for their protection, and I feel little comfort in this. A favor from Eduardo always seems to have a catch. He stays in the car, but I, in a flurry, raced into the building. Obi! I hug my parents tight. They feel my arms, real, safe. Huh? Are you alright? Are you hurt? Oh, we are fine, son. I am so relieved you are okay. When I saw the damage at home. We're fine. Sit. Breathe, Ego. I think our boy needs something warm to calm his nerves. I sit, processing it all, as Mother pours me some tea. They look comfortable in this strange home that lacks warmth, personality, their essence of richness. It is only the bare essentials. It is a utility, clearly nothing more than a tool to harbor people in need of sanctuary. Why did I ever get into business with a man who has a safe house ready at a moment's notice? When you did not call, I was sure something horrible happened. People being angry with me or Mr. Silva is one thing, but being angry with you two for this? You are not involved. My boy, have I taught you anything? When a creature is backed into a corner, it will bite. These people feel cornered, but we must not let our emotions overtake us and cause us to act rashly. Yes, this is not the first time, and it likely would not be the last. We will not bend to such threats. Their wisdom and resilience never ceases to dazzle me. If only the people of Boreas could see that this was all to help them. I wish they were not so quick to react. It would have been great if not for Eduardo's interference. I suppose. What? Why are you looking at me like that? It's just bringing the games to Boreas. You always go for the largest idea possible, and we love that about you. We think there were similar things you could have done to help individuals first. The planet is dying. The moon is falling apart. My art can only take us so far. Someone had to do something. Something tangible. Of course, we know your heart is pure, and we only think that under the pressure of the interview, you made a rash decision, that is all. So what, you think I was wrong? It's just that Cleo had become so unstable. How much more can it handle? And if it gets worse, Boreas will be underwater. There was more to do, more everyone could do. Like that reporter said, we can help rebuild communities, join the Cleo Recovery Council, send food. That reporter is awful. Oh, we know. She's wrong to imply you caused this problem or that you alone can fix everything. No one can. Nevertheless, you have many talents, my son. You should take a moment to see if there are other ways of doing things. This was my way. I fight in the games so I could bring the games to Boreas. Eduardo brought them to Cleo. Perhaps it will eventually do good for Boreas and the moon. If the moon survives it. Demi, Obi, please. I cannot believe what I'm hearing. From my own flesh and blood. My face goes hot and I suddenly feel as if my last bit of stable ground is crumbling below me. So the destruction of the moon is my fault. If not as a baby, then as an adult. I was trying. I am always trying to do the right thing. To help everyone on Boreas, and my own parents are not on my side? That's not what I am saying, my Rose. Obi, you are playing with fire. We are only offering alternatives. Saving the world is not your responsibility. I understand now why you did not call. You were safe. You were just ashamed of the interview, of me. If I had... Mother is crying. What have I done? Obi, I think you should leave. But I did not want. I'm so sorry. I leave, ashamed of myself. As the breeze of the night air brushes my skin, I feel I'm in free fall, unsure of where or even how I will ever land. Okay, and here's the last chapter. Low tide. There's artwork! I remember my hardest fought battle in the arenas. It was myself and another left in the match, all out of bullets, with only our blades left in hand. Fatigue had overtaken me. It was all I could do to keep my weapons up. But the crowd called my name, urging me to fight back and take the victory. I felt their energy. It helped me find a strength within myself I had not realized was there. Wait, who is that character? And those heirlooms he's holding. It's a double-wielded heirloom like Seer. And Seer's got his heirloom. I rose to my feet and fought. I hardly recall how, but I prevailed because of their cries. They wanted to be entertained, to be inspired, and so at my performance they shouted, "Encore!" Now I sit on the stage in solitude in the place where I made my name after the world cursed it. Now a rich and powerful man exploits our moon, and they curse me again. Encore. It is ironic now. I might laugh, but even my parents would not stand behind me. Someone crosses the stage behind me. I let out a sigh. I am not ready to face the voices again, to hear their criticisms. Come to bask in your former glory? I turned to see Catalyst standing nearby. Of course, the strongest of my dissenters would be the one to appear. I should go. You don't have to leave. You were here first. I have no desire to argue with you, and I know my presence is unwanted. You are not the first to want me gone today. I begin to depart, but her next word gives me pause. Stay. Why? Because I think you need this place as much as I do. She comes to stand beside me. This is one of the best places on Boreas to see the moon, Cleo in all her glory. I was not aware. A silence grows between us as we look upon the moon above the arena, its fractured pieces drifting away. However, imperceptibly. It has never been whole in my lifetime, but I saw myself in its image, something beautiful and powerful that never ceases to rise despite its brokenness. Seeing it now, it just looks sad. I don't think you're a bad person, you know. Is that so? But there are consequences to what you did, and you have to face them. I just wanted to do the right thing. But you didn't. She does not speak, but I can hear the words all the same. Do you really think what you did was the right thing? I thought it was what the people wanted me to do, that it was the right way to help after my interview with Miss Stone. I did not want to be the person she said I was. I've been working on Cleo's restoration for the last 15 years alongside hundreds of others, and I don't know if she's getting any better. Still, it's what I believe has helped her the most, not violence and destruction. I've already seen where that leads. But you pushed to bring the games here because you thought it was what others want. Big move for something you're not even sure you believed in. I look into the skies, gazing upon Cleo, and there are lights, not stars, but ships. In my lifetime, I can only recall that much traffic going to the moon when I was scarcely more than 3 years old. I was convinced, or perhaps convinced myself, it was the best way forward. I acted too rashly. But I have to believe it was not for nothing. The moon is receiving resources it needs. At the cost of its people. It means the people of Boreas will be safer. Screw Boreas. You cannot mean that. Of course I do. You were an outcast, but you managed to build your own place you could fit in. A lot of us didn't have the skills you had or the support behind us we needed to make that happen. Cleo welcomed us with open arms. She let us be ourselves, and we found a community in each other. Those are the people I fight to protect. But what about everyone else? Why would you even care about them after so many said you were cursed? Because my mother and my father, their love kept me warm, and I know that every person on our planet gives that gift to someone else. That is what I want to protect. She watches me for a long moment and then extends her hand. I take her hand and we shake. I will do better next time, I promise. I'll be here to see it. Okay, that's it. So that's the end of Seer's little story arc there, and why he chose the Broken Moon as the next map and the home of the games, because he didn't really choose it. He chose Boreas, but Eduardo chose Cleo, and that's where it ended up being. But can we talk about this artwork here? Hello? Seer versus, what is that? Gage? And there's Gage? Is this potentially the next legend? Hello? I'm intrigued. I thought there was going to be more artwork, but come on, this guy here? This guy has to be someone important. He has to be. I just feel like he's going to be in the games sooner or later. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a character, but why would they create an heirloom for this guy? I mean, look, he's got 2 swords. Gotta mean something. I don't know. Seems like it's important. I'm glad I waited until they were all released, though. But if you did complete the treasure packs, which you probably should have within the first couple months, because there was only 45, you will get yourself this alternator skin here, which doesn't look too bad. Very interesting. Epic skin there. And you'll get an Apex pack and 10 Battle Pass stars if you have not completed the Battle Pass by the end of the season, which is literally right now. There's only a few days left, 13 days in the season. But that's going to do it, everyone, for this season's lore. Unfortunately, that was it, and I don't know if we're going to get any more next season or not. By the looks of it, we only had 4 chapters this season, and last season, what do we have, 7 or so? So, this could be them trying to phase out the treasure packs and the story chapters and stuff like that, but if they continue to do stuff in-game like they did with the Bloodhound stuff and the Bangalore stuff, I'd be okay with that. But yeah, the comics just haven't been the same since then, because they're not even comics anymore. I thought we would have more artwork than just this one picture, but anyway, if you aren't aware, before I get out of here, the store has been updated. There is some new recolors for the Octane skins and the Wingman, and as well as some other stuff that is available in the store as well. That's been updated and will be available for the next 6 days. So, well, 2 days for these. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get on out of here. I hope you enjoyed this season's lore, and I will see you in, well, whatever's next. Hopefully more lore will come, but we never know. Guess I'll see you guys in season 16.